Hello and welcome, friends. I hope everybody's having a great day so far. If you are new here, well, welcome. And if you're back, welcome back. I greatly appreciate all of the ongoing support. This is my channel, Dragon's Jewel Creative Gems, and I'm Tegan. And of course, I'm just going to get all that wonderful YouTube-y stuff out of the way first. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please make sure you're doing so. It's just down below there. If you like the content that you see, don't forget to give it that like as well. And of course, any comments, love, all that good stuff can be left down in the comments as well, which is down below. Feel free to email me if you have any questions or suggestions as well. Today we are doing a good old Wip Chat. That just means I'm going to be working on a work in progress. And we'll chat and catch up. We have a lot of catching up to do. It's been a while since I've been able to get one of these out. I'm just going to work on getting my first color here all set up. Yeah, so it's been a while since I've been able to do a Wip Chat, so we're going to do some catching up. So be sure to pull out your own work in progress, settle in, grab yourself a beverage, a snack, whatever. I've got a little bit of coffee on the go and then backup water. Because of course I had to sit down for a wee bit here and figure out what the heck happened in all that time and just make some quick little notes so I kind of know what everybody's missed and where we had kind of left things off at on this channel. Always the fun part of starting a new year. So yeah, pull something out, get comfy, and let's get going here. I'm working on Enchanted Butterflies, which was the sneak peek canvas that I got from a while back there. I've got the video if you didn't see the unboxing. I'm down to my last row here on it. So I just wanted to keep going at it for this Wip Chat. This will likely be the last chance that you kind of see me working on it. I did have a picture put up on my Instagram because I of course updated my Instagram, so you can kind of see where I'm at on it prior to this video. And then of course once it's completed, I will once again take an image of the completed part of the canvas and post it over there. I kind of let Instagram slide for a while, so the other day I spent a little bit of time pushing out a bunch of posts that should have gone over there way before they did. I check it. I check other content creators' stuff, but for some reason I just really fell behind on my own things. Yeah, so got that up to speed a little bit. So that was kind of behind the scenes thing that I was doing there as I was getting back into filming and scheduling out the videos for this week. Just trying to get myself back into the flow of creating and getting things out again after my little bit of a break that I took. Life of course got busy and I had to kind of put aside some of these Wip Chats along with other videos as well. My Ghostly Echoes series unfortunately took a little bit of a hit. I finally got one of those out, though that'll be later today that you'll get one of those. So yeah, getting myself back in, working on it. I think our last update was back at like November 24th-ish was kind of where we left off and around there. So yeah, a really long time, like a good month and a bit for us. And then life just kind of went crazy on me. Got super busy. All that good stuff. So yeah, we'll catch you up on what that looked like on my end. I won't go into super details on some of it. Some of it I'll go into a little bit more, all that good stuff. Just kind of depends on yeah, what feels natural and right. So I ended November off with a specialized service team meeting for my son. if anybody doesn't know what those are, we work with a specialized service team is what they're called. He has a speech therapist that we work with, a behavioral person that we work with, OT that we work with as well. And then of course they all have a supervisor that they kind of, they're a really great team. They don't even really need their supervisor a whole bunch. She just kind of checks up on things and then kind of occasionally pops her head in with one of them during a visit just to kind of see how things are going in person. But for the most part, she's really just kind of there if there's any issues. I think we maybe contacted her once when we had an issue. But his team that he has now is really good. They function really well. They all coordinate with each other. But that's besides the point. Basically, that's what they are. They're a whole team, and we go through. It's funded, and so we chose the place where his team is, and then yeah, they come into the home. I thought good stuff. And about every, I think it's 3-4 months, we do what they call a team meeting, and that's with everybody who's part of his team. The supervisor, she can make it. Of course, on our end, almost always myself. If my husband is home and can make it, which is not very often because he's normally at work when they occur, and my son's at school, so it's usually just myself that makes them, and then I kind of speak on behalf of the family. And so yeah, basically we had that, got all caught up, kind of went over everything that was working, what we're working on, if anything needs to be changed, the usual kind of thing that we go over, any new concerns that may have arisen, any new behaviors or struggles within the goals that we kind of set and want to work on for my son. All of that kind of gets discussed, and a new plan kind of laid out for the next bit of time. That went pretty well. We didn't really change a lot or do a lot. It was just mostly an update, and I'm kind of okay. These are the next steps that we want to work on, because there was progress in areas, so then kind of setting some new goals. That would be kind of the next step up from what was achieved. Yeah, so that was kind of that meeting. That's always nice to kind of get done as the year ends too, going into the next one. And then, of course, we always resume back to the normal visits after these meetings, so that whatever's scheduled gets scheduled, and they come out and they work on those plans going forward, kind of thing. We've been trialing what they call an AAC device, which is an alternate communication device basically for him, as he's mostly nonverbal still. He does know some words, but not a ton. So it just helps him communicate things. Another way for him to communicate things to us, it's basically on a little iPad, and it's a program that he goes into. There's pictures. He can press on the picture. It'll say the word. So if he wants, let's say, a glass of water, he can press on a picture of a glass of water and it'll tell us. He has other ways to tell us that one, so he's not always inclined to use that one, but it'll tell us if he wants to play with something, or if he wants to go out, or we've kind of set up our own little personal page which has a lot of activities that my parents will go and do with him, like the zoo, the museum, all of that. And so when he's doing his sleepovers with them, he can choose which activity he wants to go do when he's there by selecting one of those buttons. We set it up for Christmas, and he told us that he wanted to go see Santa with it, so it's been a good little device. He's actually taken to it quite well, but if anything, we're kind of the bad ones with it, forgetting that it's there and all of that good stuff. But he certainly remembers. Okay. Yeah, so we did that. That was kind of how we ended off November. And then, of course, going into early December, he had told us, like I said, that he had wanted to go and see Santa. Sorry, I have a bit of a runny nose here. He told us he wanted to go see Santa. So, on the day that we went and did some family photos at the Specialized Service Center, they had put they get somebody who kindly volunteers their time. They are a professional photographer, but they volunteer their time and resources to basically come in. They take over a room at the center and they set up kind of like a little photo studio, and then the families who sign up pay by donation. They usually say about $10. We give them a little more than $10, as that money goes back into the center as well. Any money that people donate. So we figured either a family that couldn't pay, it would cover them, or it'd be a little extra for the center. So we donated about $20 for that. And then she basically takes a bunch of, she allots a certain amount of time for each family, and we take a whole bunch of photos basically of, they usually do a beautiful little kind of Christmassy backdrop. Sorry. They usually do a little bit of a Christmassy backdrop, and then they kind of work with everybody and get a bunch of photos. The photographer was the same one as the year before, and she's really good about making sure everybody in the family gets kind of a bunch of photos. So this year my parents joined us, and she was really awesome. We had time to get pictures of all of us together as a family, us with our son, my parents with him, us with him, individual couple pictures. My parents actually got pictures of just them in their like little Christmas outfits that they wore, and then me and my hubby got pictures of just us, and then they got pictures of just my son. So a great variety of photos that can be used that are kind of holiday themed. They sent out the digital copies of those, of course. Then after they print off like a bunch that they kind of think are the best, and then they give you the digital copies that they email out, and then if you like anything additional beyond that, you can print them off and have them. So we did that. That was really, really nice. And then because we were all kind of already had my son in his Christmas sweater, and he had wanted to go see Santa, we looked up where we could go see Santa that day. And that's a crazy story in itself, because we have a couple of malls here that have Santa, and we were debating between them. We looked up the mall that was closest to us, which is the big West Edmonton Mall that people have probably heard of. We looked up there, but it was like $50 to reserve a picture with Santa, which is kind of high and steep. So we're kind of like, is there anywhere else? We discovered Cabela's had a Santa, and we were actually able to get in quite easily into a time slot there. That allowed us the time to travel from the Specialized Services Center to where the Cabela's was located. So we ended up reserving in there. I think it was like $20 or something like that for the photos. So significantly cheaper. So we went there, we got our Santa photos for our little guy. So he got to do that. That was actually his second time seeing Santa. I'll have to track back to the first time he saw Santa. like I said, so much that we did. I'll probably still even miss things that we did. But yeah, so that was the second time seeing Santa. We got the pictures when we were there at Cabela's. They also had two guys set up at a table that were selling rescue, search and rescue calendars. They particularly are, I think, mostly Canadian based, if not Alberta based, if I remember correctly. There, the one had his dog. She was a older Doberman, absolute sweetheart. Soaked up all the love and pets, and of course, me and my family were more than happy to give her all the love and pets, along with many other people that were in the store. So I'm quite sure she was. I'm quite sure she was a happy dog. Apparently, he wanted to train her and work with her as a search and rescue dog, and it's not that she didn't know what she was doing or anything. She was just an older dog at the time. Her owner was looking into this, so he had to work with another dog professionally, just due to her age and stamina and stuff like that, which is too bad. But he still had her there because she was a very lovely dog. She had still gone through a lot of the training, obviously, that sort of thing. So she was still kind of a face for them. But yeah, we ended up buying one of those calendars. So that's our 2024 calendar, is of all the lovely search and rescue dogs. And of course the money goes to support them. So that was also a fun little additional kind of find while we were at Cabela's that day. Anyways, back to the photos, back to my story. I'm all over the place. Anyways, we come home and later find out that that exact time that we would have if we decided to go do the Santa photos over at our mall, they had actually ended up going into a lockdown procedure because somebody came in with a gun and all of that good stuff. So lockdown procedures is where nobody can go in or out of the mall. You pretty much hunker down into the closest store that you are near, kind of thing, and you wait for the go ahead that things are safe and all of that good stuff. Well, obviously mall security and cops deal with the situation. So yeah, good thing we didn't end up there, because, I mean, thankfully it didn't last too long. I guess it only took them about 20 minutes to find the individual and take him into custody and all that good stuff. But still, I mean, we would have been in a Santa lineup, then having to find the nearest store, and then trying to convince my son to sit still and relax in a store full of people away from the main entrances, kind of thing. Yeah, so that would have been real fun. Not so much. Glad we didn't end up there that day. Glad things worked out really well though, and nobody was hurt, all of that good stuff. It was fairly short, so I'm thankful for that. That was a major issue around the holidays, especially on weekends for some reason. I think that was our second or third incident of that happening at that mall. Yeah, so kind of scary. Glad we didn't go there and that we ended up at Cabela instead. Obviously that was meant for us. So we did that. Anyways, his first little bit with Santa was actually we got with the Stollery families. We were able to get on board with the holiday train. So that one was a lot of fun. That was a train ride through CN Rail. They decorated one of the trains from Rocky Mountaineer, which is a luxury kind of train ride. They go a ton of places, but they used a couple of their trains, decorated them up with Christmas lights. We went from Edmonton out to St. Albert and a little bit past and back. So it was a nice little hour-and-a-half train ride. Santa came through the train, got pictures with the kids, gave them little goodie bags, all that fun stuff. They had a lady dressed up as Rudolph as well. They served cookies and hot chocolate, so it was kind of like a little, almost set up like a little Polar Express ride for the kids. It was lots of fun. About an hour through, my son, of course, was ready to call it a night. But, of course, we still had about a half-hour train ride left at that point. So, yeah, we just kind of kept him busy. He was really good. He enjoyed it. He was completely exhausted by the end of it, though, and was kind of nodding off in the car on the way home. Pretty much then we got home, his head hit the pillow and he crashed. So it was a really good, fun time for him. So that was his first little visit from Santa. Yeah, so that was our start of December. Then we had my mom's birthday, which we went to the Old Spaghetti Factory, which is a restaurant that serves kind of mostly pastas, a couple of other things, stuff like that. You usually get some bread and salad and your pasta, and then finish off with a ice cream and desserts. You get kind of all like the little courses for a very reasonable cost. Haven't eaten there in ages. We had a really good waiter and a really good kind of little birthday celebration doing that. My son loves his ice cream, so of course he was more than happy to have his own little bowl of ice cream to himself that he went to town on. So that was that little birthday celebration. That was lots of fun. And then of course we were not short on birthdays at all in December, because my aunt also celebrates her birthday, which I'll get to as well, because of course lots happened in between that point too. I had a dental appointment while my son was still at school, got that over and done with before the Christmas. Oh, come on, let go. Yeah, so had a dental, got that over and done with when my son was still in school, and before Christmas, his winter break hit. Then we had my hubby's Christmas party for his work. We attended that. That was a lot of fun. That was the first Christmas party since, obviously, everybody was quarantining and all of that, and in lockdown and all of that, so everybody was more than in the mood to enjoy their evenings. We decided not to sit with anybody in particular. We just decided to take up an empty table and see who sat with us, and so that was kind of fun. We ended up sitting with a guy that my hubby hadn't worked with in a long time, and his wife, and then some people that we didn't know, or that my hubby didn't know, that had kind of come in late, and we're just trying to find a spot that they could all kind of fit in. It was another group of guys that they knew each other, and it was their first time with their wives meeting kind of thing. And then we also ended up with another guy who had worked for the company, and it was a retiree, so it was really nice that they allowed the retirees to attend. But he decided to sit with us, and just talking to him, he had lots of really great stories, kind of about the company's beginnings to where they were now. So it was really neat to kind of hear that perspective. As well, his wife unfortunately was unable to make it as she's diagnosed with cancer and is quite ill and only has so much energy, and decided to spend time back at their home with the grandkids instead, which you can fully understand. And I mean, he didn't stay the whole entire night. He did end up leaving early, just before kind of a lot of the party picked up, and he had bought some raffle tickets for the door prizes and stuff, and he was a very, very kind gentleman and actually just kind of divvied up all his tickets between everybody at the table. So he gave me my hubby some, the other guy and his wife some, and the other two couples gave them some as well. So very, very generous. We all said that we would gladly take his number if any of his tickets won, and then he could have them, and he said no, if they win, the prize is yours. So quite generous. Ironically too, of course, because he had done that, one of his tickets did win that one of the couples had. And this poor guy had apparently never won all the times he attended. But yeah, one of his tickets won. So yeah, kind of, like I said, kind of ironic. A little bit too bad that he didn't was there to win it himself. But totally understandable. He didn't want to leave his wife alone at home for too long, but he still wanted to kind of go and attend this Christmas party. Yeah, so the night they had a whole ton of door prizes. You bought raffle tickets. That's how that worked. They had so many prizes. They had hockey tickets. They had Circus du Soleil tickets. They had gift cards to restaurants that paired with bottles of alcohol. They had what else did they have? I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, they had like some fancy designer purses and sorry, brain fart here. And a whole bunch of stuff anyways. Lots of really good stuff. Me and hubby didn't win anything, but that's okay. The money goes towards a charity. As well, so this year it was Make-A-Wish Foundation, so you'd buy your raffle tickets and that's what the money part of, I think, if not all, went towards that. So lots of people, of course, were just buying for that reason too. But the prizes were really good prizes. Definitely lots of happy, lucky winners. They had bars set up. And the drinks, you bought drink tickets and the drinks were only like $2. So lots of people taking $2 shots. Lots of very happy drunks. By the end of it, I got to meet a lady that my husband worked with. And she was 3 sheets to the wind by this point. Hugged me, told me how much she loved working with my husband. She was so happy to finally meet me and how much she loved me. So just a very, very lovely woman. And her poor husband is trying to chase her around while she's hugging everybody and telling them that she loves them and loves working with their spouses if she had ever worked with them and stuff like that, and chatting with them. And he's chasing around trying to tell her to take her heels off because they've already ordered their cab to go home. He finally gets her to take her heels off, and then he's chasing her around to put her boots on, her winter boots, her outdoor winter boots. So there she is walking around in her stockings, telling people how much she loves them. Yeah, so it was a fun night anyways, to say the least. A lot of people enjoyed themselves, and it was a good little Christmas party. I'm glad we went. My parents had taken the little guy for the night. We had kind of shifted their overnight thing. Instead of just asking them to do instead of them doing their overnight and then asking them to babysit again the following night, we just figured that would be easier for everybody. So that's how we organized that. So we didn't have to worry about the little man at all the following morning. Got to sleep in a little bit, all that good stuff. And then, of course, after that party, we took the little guy one day after school to the Stollery Christmas party, which was all Stollery families that had signed up for it. And they had set up like a little photo station where you could kind of take your own pictures, or one of the ladies organizing, it was part of kind of the Stollery Foundation, would take a picture. They had some snacks at like a little buffet, which was mostly kind of meats, cheeses, a little bit of bread, some cookies. Nothing crazy, but just a nice little snacky snack. They had some kind of sparkling apple ciders that people could enjoy. They had hot chocolate that they would pass around as well. So they had lots of little goodies like that. And they had set up a bracelet making station, a cookie decorating station, a little coloring station for kind of the kids to choose an activity and work on. They also had a little pin the carrot nose to on a snowman, and a little gingerbread tic-tac-toe thing that was up on the wall that you could kind of take your kid over to and play a game of that as well. So we went there for a little bit, enjoyed some activities. My son made a bracelet for my mom and aunt. We asked him, of course, if he wanted to make anybody a bracelet, and he said yeah, and then we kind of started naming off people, and those were the two that he chose. We helped him kind of choose some beads, or style of beads maybe that he wanted, to kind of help him narrow down what he wanted to string onto the things, and then kind of helped him kind of start stringing them on in an order, at least for their name part, in order that made sense. So as for kind of the colored beads after that, that was his own total creative process. So yeah, that was a good little evening. He was feeling pretty tired by the end of that night because of course he had gone to school prior to that. So that was lots of fun. And then of course by that time then my aunt's birthday had rolled around, and we had dinner at Home Fire, which you've probably heard me talk about that restaurant. It's kind of become a favorite of ours. It's close to home, it's delicious food, it's reasonable priced. They do some game meats, they do serve bison. They have a nice variety of burgers to fancier dishes too as well, so it's kind of there's something for everybody at that restaurant, we find. So we had her birthday there, and then I had my aunt and uncle who were moving from Dartmouth, Nova Scotia to Kitimat, BC. They were in the process of having sold their home in Nova Scotia and waiting for their home in Kitimat to become theirs. So they had stopped in for a visit here with family while they were kind of traveling across to kind of also extend their travel time, since they would have their furniture wasn't obviously going to be there yet, that sort of thing. They hadn't had their keys for the new home yet. So they just decided to turn into a little visit. So they were there for my aunt's birthday as well, which was quite nice. So we got to, of course, spend some time with them around that time as well, before they were traveling on to BC. So that was a lovely little visit to get in just before Christmas as well. We had my oldest poocher, Trigger, who you've probably heard me talk about. He's our Jack Russell. He ended up getting like some swelling between his eyes and kind of where his nasal passages and all of that, and we weren't sure. We had given him some Benadryl at one point, and it kind of simmered down, but then it kept coming back, and it was getting bigger and bigger, and so we were kind of, okay, well, what's going on? So I took him in just for a vet visit for that, just to kind of, and then kind of a spot that kept, a wound that kept reopening and kind of squishing out and making a mess and all that good stuff. So we just kind of got a little health visit checkup done for him. It turned out his little open wound was something or other, which was basically a fatty cell that was filling with fluid and bursting, and it's something that happens. The only way to really get rid of them is with a surgery to remove it. Otherwise, it's something that just kind of keeps happening. It makes quite a mess and is more annoying than anything serious per se. She was just going to go take it and clean it up, and then when she did that, she realized that the wound was quite large and she could see it, and then so she was like, I think I can just go in with some local freezing and use a tool to kind of remove most of it, and then she says, and then it won't be as bad. So I proved that. I guess when she went in to go do it, she was able to get it all completely with the, I think it was a biopsy puncher or something that she said, the small little tool that she could use. Basically, she used that to scoop it out. She was able to actually get it all, stitch it up. So he didn't even need to go do the surgery. The procedure was much cheaper than if he had to do a surgery. And now we don't have to worry about that spot anymore. It was just a matter of keeping it clean, letting it heal, and the stitches doing their thing. So that was awesome. And then she said the bump between his eyes could be a few different things. So she wanted to basically take a little bit of fluid from it, just to make sure that it wasn't an infection, because of course we said he's like a 20-year-old dog. I said we're not going to do any like major surgeries with him that he won't be able to handle and all that. So we just want to know essentially if he needs like an antibiotic, or if, you know, we should kind of be looking at the signs of end of life, unfortunately, realistically, as much as that would suck. It's a thing at this point in his life. He's lived a very, very long life with us. He's quite a happy little dog. We didn't think it was anything serious. She had done the liquid, tested it, turned out to be an infection. So he was put on some antibiotics. So basically I got to do probably a little follow-up from that, because the bump is still kind of there. So we just want to make sure, is it going to go away on its own given some time, or are we at a point where maybe he needs a second dose of antibiotics because he's had it for so long and there's maybe still a bit of an infection in there. So basically, yeah, we got to find that out. We'll look at probably that once the little man goes back to school next week here. And then that evening we actually had a little happy dinner at my cousin's out in Stony Plain. My aunt and uncle were still in town. This was the night before they were headed to BC, so we got a good visit there. That was lots of fun. I don't get to see my cousins very often, even though they kind of live close. We just don't do a lot of things other than family get-togethers, mainly because their kids are in hockey, and there's a lot going on with us as well. So it's mostly family get-togethers, sporadically when we get to see them. So yeah, that was nice to go out, visit, all that good stuff. Had a hair appointment just before Christmas, and then of course went into Christmas. Christmas ended up, my sister and her family came up from Claire's home, and my niece and her family came up. She lives in Claire's home with my sister as well. So they all came up for Christmas, so it was really nice to see them and the boys. My son is always so happy to see the boys, because he hardly ever gets to see them. So that was lots of fun, having those three run around together. Of course, there's always some sort of tattletaling that comes on, like Riley got a hold of the remote, and Gordon won't let me play with the toys, and Zeke stole this, or Zeke's not listening, Zeke doesn't want to do this, or Gordon this, or Riley that. I mean, only natural when you have 3 little boys in the house. Which most of it, very minor, but all that good stuff. So that was really nice to kind of spend some time with them. We did Candy Cane Lane, which is probably a couple of blocks of houses that really go all out for Christmas, and people can walk it. They usually set up a couple of food trucks, fire pits. They do horse sleigh rides that you can take up and down to kind of look at all the Christmas lights. Lots of fun, so we did that as well while they were here, and then of course they went back. Just before the new year, we had our new fridge delivered. I haven't really talked much about that, but our old fridge we've had for a while. It was a second fridge that we had accepted from an old coworker and a friend of my hubby's, because the fridge prior to that went kaput. So this was a second one that was still fairly new, that they were just replacing it for something even more updated. So it lasted us quite a while before it kind of started leaking, causing some issues. Our food would quickly spoil, that sort of thing, so we had to look at a new fridge. So our new fridge was delivered, set up. Absolutely loving it. We splurged and got the water and ice thing on the front of it, so that we can have filtered water and ice on demand. You can lock the controls of the little man, even if he presses the little lever for the water or ice to pour, it'll just beep. We've got a door alarm that we can set, so if the doors are left wide open because he's opened them, it'll go off. So lots of great little features like that too with it. Absolutely loving it. Yeah, so I guess now that kind of catches us up for the most part of my crazy last month and a bit here. And brings us into the new year. New year, we didn't do anything super crazy. We just stayed at home with our little man, and one of my friends came over. The hubby streamed until just before midnight and then came up and joined us. We did a quick little countdown. Enjoyed some drinks. Me and my friend watched some movies and just kind of hung out. Pretty low-key. Yeah, so that was how we kind of rang in the new year. And then, of course, my channel during all that time had hit the 250 subs. I did my giveaway. Had the winner sent out the package. I believe it told me the package had been delivered. So I'm just kind of waiting to hear back on. We're hearing back from that, I guess. Hopefully Laura enjoyed it. Yeah, so the next goal pretty much going forward now, we are looking at working towards 500 subs that'll kind of be the next chance that I know for sure that I'll do a giveaway. I got really itchy and antsy to do this last one, so I don't know, I may have to do something to, or some sort of little something just to tie me over. Yeah, so that's about it going forward. If there is anything for this year that you would like to see more of on the channel, if you have any ideas or suggestions going forward for the channel, please don't hesitate to reach out, email me, put it down in the comment section below, that sort of thing. Let me know your thoughts. And then, of course, let's talk about the new year. Is there something that you're creatively working on? Anything that's not creative? Any new adventures that you're exploring? That sort of thing. I really wanted to catch you up on more, but of course I'm running out of time. I had apparently a lot to talk about for all this time. But yeah, if there's something in the new year that you're wanting this channel to see, definitely let me know. I'm open to it. I'm hoping once again to bring out some new wonderful content for the channel, continue with kind of the usual stuff that I have on it, getting back into my Wip Chats, getting back into the Ghost series, lots of unboxings of course, still keeping up with those small shop kind of spotlight hauls that I do. You'll probably see some new stuff coming to the channel. Obviously PR packages, if they still keep coming in this year, you'll of course see those. All that good stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna leave that here because I've got about 5 minutes left. If you haven't seen my new craft day video yet, I did sneak that into the works just before kind of officially starting my channel back up. I have forgotten about that PR package coming in. And of course it made its way through the mail system right after they opened up after the holidays there. The Christmas holiday break before the New Year break, so of course I kind of squished that one in there to get it out because I didn't want it sitting. It's not fair to the company that asked me to share the product with you, and of course I was excited to share the product with you, and also it was holiday themed, so really, how could I not? If you haven't seen that yet, go check it out. Lots of adorable canvases that I got. Yeah, I'm going to leave that here. I could continue talking. There's still more stuff I want to share, so I don't know, maybe I guess I'll put that forward, write it down for my next Whip and Chat, make sure that I share that with you. Yeah, I'm glad to be back. I can't wait to start making more content, playing around, having fun, all that good stuff. You're going to see this canvas completed soon. I'm pretty sure there'll be the full picture on Instagram. I will, of course, do my post-review video on this as well. I'm gearing up to participate in DP Big Butts, which I participated in the following year. It brings awareness to obesity, so anything with a big butt can be DP'd. I have a lovely curvy lady that I'm DP'ing, and she's got her coffee, which is just totally me. I'm all about the coffee. She's kind of in her bedroom, standing in front of like her bed, kind of probably just woken up having her morning coffee. She's still kind of in her nightshirt with her big bum hanging out the bottom. But yeah, so you'll also probably see that kind of happening on the channel as well. That's being put on by Pencil Surprises and diamond painting, not diamond painting. Oh, the brain fart. Diamond Grandma. Everybody diamond paints, but Diamond Grandma. Those are the two wonderful ladies putting this on, who are hosting it. So definitely, if you haven't checked either of those ladies out, then they are well worth checking out. They both diamond paint. Diamond Grandma does a ton of unboxings for various low budget friendly companies. She does a lot of post completion. She's a very she's always got some post completion coming up on her channel because she does her diamond painting daily, of course, and she's got little helpers that help her and stuff like that. And then Pencil Surprises also has, she's not so heavily focused on diamond painting, but she does a lot of resin unmoldings or demoldings that her and her dad work on. So definitely worth checking out if you're into resin as well. She does do the occasional diamond paintings. That's how I kind of, apparently lost a sticker on this one. Sorry, just trying to think here. Yeah, so that's that. I will leave it here because I'm about to completely run out of space and time, so I will see everybody in the next video with something new. Have a great day. Bye.